Welcome to another episode where we dive deep into the wisdom of Stoicism. Today, we're going to talk about the art of not caring and letting go. Now, you might be thinking, why should I not care? Isn't caring a good thing? Well, let me tell you, there's a fine line between caring about what matters and obsessing over things that drain your energy and peace of mind. Just like the guy who can't stop thinking about a girl who clearly isn't interested in him. He's like a dog chasing a car, not knowing what he'd do if he caught it. It's embarrassing, it's draining, and it's completely unnecessary. I've been there, and I can tell you, it's not a place you want to be. So, how do we avoid this? How do we master the art of not caring and letting go? Here are 7 principles from Stoicism that can guide us. Number 1. Understand what's in your control. This is the cornerstone of Stoicism. It's about understanding the difference between what we can change and what we can't. It's about recognizing that while we can't control the world around us, we can control how we respond to it. Think about it. You can't control the weather, but you can control whether or not you bring an umbrella. You can't control traffic, but you can control when you leave your house. You can't control what others think of you, but you can control your actions and behavior. This principle is about focusing your energy on the things you can change and accepting the things you can't. It's about letting go of the need to control everything and instead controlling your reactions to the world around you. When you truly understand and apply this principle, you'll find that a lot of your worries and anxieties start to fade away. Why? Because you're no longer stressing over things you can't control. You're no longer wasting energy on things outside your control. So, the next time you find yourself worrying about something, ask yourself, is this something I can control? If the answer is no, let it go. If the answer is yes, then do something about it. Remember, the goal is not to become indifferent, but to become resilient. It's not about not caring. It's about caring for the right things, the things within your control. And that, my friends, is the art of not caring and letting go. It's not about being cold or uncaring. It's about being wise and understanding. It's about knowing where to focus your energy and where to let go. It's about mastering the art of living a good life, a stoic life. Number 2, practice detachment. Now, when we hear the word detachment, we might think it means not caring about anything or anyone, but that's not what it means in Stoicism. In Stoicism, detachment is about understanding the impermanent nature of everything in life. It's about realizing that everything we have today, our possessions, our relationships, our status, they're all temporary. They can all change or disappear at any moment. And when we understand this, we start to detach ourselves from these things. We start to realize that our happiness and peace of mind shouldn't depend on things that are outside of our control. We start to focus more on our inner state of being rather than external circumstances. Practicing detachment doesn't mean that we stop caring about things. It means that we stop letting things control us. We stop letting our happiness be dictated by whether we have certain things or not. We stop clinging to things and start enjoying them while they're here, without fearing their loss. This might sound a bit challenging, and it is, but it's also incredibly liberating. When we practice detachment, we free ourselves from the fear of loss. We free ourselves from the constant need for more. We start to find contentment and peace within ourselves, regardless of what's happening around us. So, how do we practice detachment? Start by observing your reactions to things. Notice how you feel when you gain something, and how you feel when you lose something. Try to remain equanimous in both situations. Understand that both gaining and losing are part of life, and that neither defines you or your worth. Remember, detachment is not about indifference. It's about freedom. It's about being able to enjoy the good things in life without becoming dependent on them. It's about being able to face the challenges of life without being overwhelmed by them. It's about living life fully without being controlled by it. And that, my friends, is the power of practicing detachment. It's not easy, but it's worth it, because at the end of the day, the only thing we truly have control over is ourselves, our actions, our reactions, and our mindset. And when we understand this, we can truly master the art of not caring and letting go. Number 3, focus on the present. It's about understanding that the past is gone, the future is uncertain, but the present is all we have. We often spend so much time dwelling on the past or worrying about the future that we forget to live in the present. We forget to enjoy the moment, to appreciate what we have right now. But the truth is, the past is a memory, the future is a mystery, and the present is a gift. That's why it's called the present. Focusing on the present means being fully engaged in whatever you're doing right now. It means not letting your mind wander to the past or the future, but staying grounded in the current moment. It means appreciating the beauty of the present, the joy of the now. This doesn't mean we should ignore the past or the future. We can learn from our past and plan for our future, but we should not let them take away from our present. We should not let our past mistakes or future worries rob us of our current happiness. So, how do we practice focusing on the present? Start by paying attention to your thoughts. Notice when your mind starts to wander to the past or the future, and gently bring it back to the present. Practice mindfulness. Be aware of your surroundings, your feelings, your thoughts. Be fully present in whatever you're doing, whether it's eating, working, or spending time with loved ones. Remember, every moment is precious. Every moment is an opportunity to live, to love, to learn, to grow. So, don't let these moments slip away by dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. Focus on the present and make the most of it. And that, my friends, is the power of focusing on the present. It's not easy, but it's worth it, because at the end of the day, the only moment we truly have is the present moment. And when we learn to live in the present, we learn to truly live. Number 4, acceptance. It's about accepting the world as it is, not as we wish it to be. This might sound a bit passive, but it's not. It's about understanding reality and working with it, not against it. We often waste so much energy wishing things were different. We wish our circumstances were different. We wish people would behave differently. We wish the world was different. But the truth is, the world is as it is. And the sooner we accept this, the sooner we can start making meaningful progress. Acceptance is not about giving up or being passive. It's about acknowledging reality and working with it. It's about understanding that we can't change the world, but we can change how we interact with it. We can change how we respond to it. When we practice acceptance, we free ourselves from the burden of unrealistic expectations. We stop setting ourselves up for disappointment and start setting ourselves up for success. We stop resisting reality and start working with it. So, how do we practice acceptance? Start by observing your thoughts. Notice when you're resisting reality, when you're wishing things were different, and then remind yourself that the world is as it is. Remind yourself that you can't control the world, but you can control how you respond to it. Remember, acceptance is not about resignation. It's about liberation. It's about freeing yourself from the burden of resistance and embracing the power of acceptance. It's about understanding that the world is as it is, and that's okay, because you are not defined by the world around you. You are defined by how you respond to it. And that, my friends, is the power of acceptance. It's not easy, but it's worth it, because at the end of the day, the only thing we truly have control over is ourselves, our actions, our reactions, and our mindset. And when we understand this, we can truly master the art of not caring and letting go. Number 5, manage your desires. It's about understanding that unfulfilled desires often lead to disappointment and dissatisfaction. It's about learning to be content with what you have, rather than constantly craving more. We live in a world that constantly encourages us to want more. More money, more success, more possessions. But the truth is, the more we have, the more we want. It's a never-ending cycle that leads to constant dissatisfaction. Stoicism teaches us to break this cycle. It teaches us to manage our desires, to be content with what we have. It's not about suppressing our desires, but about understanding them, controlling them, directing them towards things that truly matter. So, how do we manage our desires? Start by observing them. Notice when you're craving something, when you're feeling dissatisfied. Ask yourself, do I really need this? Will it truly make me happy? Or am I just chasing after an illusion? Then, practice gratitude. Appreciate what you have, rather than focusing on what you don't have. Remember, happiness doesn't come from having more, but from being content with more. And finally, direct your desires towards virtue. Instead of desiring more possessions, desire to be more honest, more courageous, more compassionate. These are the things that truly lead to happiness and fulfillment. Remember, managing your desires is not about denying yourself pleasure. It's about finding pleasure in the right things. It's about understanding that true happiness comes not from having more, but from being more. And that, my friends, is the power of managing your desires. It's not easy, but it's worth it, because at the end of the day, the only thing we truly have control over is ourselves, our actions, our reactions, and our desires. And when we understand this, we can truly master the art of not caring and letting go. Number 6, practice virtue. In Stoicism, virtue is considered the highest good. It's not about external rewards or recognition, but about being a good person for its own sake. Virtue in Stoicism is often divided into 4 main categories: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Let's break them down. Wisdom is about understanding the world as it is, not as we wish it to be. It's about making good decisions, about knowing what's truly important in life. Courage is not just about physical bravery, but also about moral courage. It's about standing up for what's right. even when it's difficult. It's about facing our fears and overcoming them. Justice is about treating others with fairness and respect. It's about understanding that each person has their own path, their own struggles, and their own strengths. It's about doing our part to make the world a better place. Temperance is about self-control. It's about managing our desires and emotions, not letting them control us. It's about finding balance and moderation in all things. Practicing virtue is not about being perfect, but about striving to be the best we can be. It's about recognizing our flaws and working to improve them. It's about living in accordance with our values, even when it's hard. So, how do we practice virtue? Start by reflecting on your actions. Ask yourself, am I acting with wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance? Am I being the best person I can be? And if the answer is no, don't beat yourself up. Just recognize it and strive to do better. Remember, practicing virtue is not about achieving some external standard of success. It's about being true to ourselves, about living in accordance with our highest values. It's about becoming the best version of ourselves. And that, my friends, is the power of practicing virtue. It's not easy, but it's worth it, because at the end of the day, the only thing we truly have control over is ourselves, our actions, our reactions, and our virtues. And when we understand this, we can truly master the art of not caring and letting go. Number 7, embrace mortality. It's a stark reminder that our time on this earth is limited. This isn't meant to be a morbid or depressing thought, but rather a liberating one. It's a call to live fully, authentically, and with purpose. When we embrace our mortality, we are reminded of the impermanence of everything around us. Our possessions, our achievements, our failures, they are all fleeting. What remains is the legacy we leave behind, the lives we've touched, and the growth we've achieved. Embracing mortality is not about dwelling on the inevitability of death, but rather about understanding its role in giving life meaning. It's about recognizing that every moment is precious and should not be wasted on trivial matters. It's about focusing on what truly matters: love, growth, contribution, and inner peace. Remembering our mortality helps us make better decisions. It strips away the inconsequential worries and fears that plague our minds and refocuses our attention on the present moment. It encourages us to live authentically and courageously, to express our feelings openly, to admit our mistakes freely, and to be kind and compassionate. In the grand scheme of the universe, our existence is but a blink. Yet, in our lives and in the lives of those we touch, we can make a difference. We can leave a legacy of love, wisdom, and strength. We can use our limited time to contribute something of lasting value to the world. So, let's embrace our mortality. Let's remember that we are here for a short time, and in that time, we have the power to do something great. Let's focus on what truly matters and let go of what doesn't. Let's live fully, love deeply, and leave this world a little better than we found it. Because in the end, that's what truly matters. Master these principles, and you'll master the art of not caring and letting go. You'll stop being like the guy who's obsessing over a girl who doesn't want him, and start being the person who's in control of his own life. Remember, the goal is not to become indifferent or uncaring. It's to care about the right things, the things that truly matter, and let go of the rest. Until next time, keep growing, keep learning, and keep practicing Stoicism.